Groveland Historical Commission meeting for March 4th at 11:05 at VZ Park. And, as I mentioned, Dale's up in Montreal, so she won't be here today. But we can do whatever we want to do in the meantime. That's reasonable. So, now, Linda, so it's this year that we're gonna plan on doing, or setting up the final survey?
Yes, I have, excuse me, I have to figure out exactly what we need to have done.
So we'll have to go through what we've done, right?
Yes.
Basically.
And see
And
what,
then,
some things fell through the cracks apparently over the years.
well,
a few
I
stories.
think they did a lot of, what was obvious with
So
the
we'll have to see
survey.
exactly. But what we have left would be one final survey
Correct.
until we need to start.
So we should probably start now, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, as soon as we can get back in there when it gets warm in Washington Hall.
Actually,
It's not
we're
bad?
we were approached, I was approached, by the Democratic Committee to, they wanna use Washington Hall, this month actually, the day after the flea market, which is, I said, do you know when that is, Yeah, and, so the person that called me said, we're gonna do everything, you won't have to do anything, so I'm like, okay, we'll get the building ready, and you can do what you need to do. But, I think they wanted, like a stage and a PA system and enough room for, as many people as they can fit into it.
Nice.
So it should be good.
They're gonna have a rally in there or something, or?
No, they're gonna do a presentation. Now this is Historical Women's Month, is that?
Women's History Month, yeah.
Yes.
Women's History Month. So they're gonna present someone. I'm not sure who.
They should go out to Seneca Falls, New York, if they want to see the women's history. So the
Yeah.
women's 1848 Women's Convention took place.
Well, we were talking about doing it, and then we decided that we didn't want to open it up,
Yeah.
in March, because it was still kind of cold,
Yeah,
or it is still kind of cold. So.
April's okay.
Yeah, plus I got this, big flea market here. So, but then they approached me and I was like, well, as long as you're gonna do all the work, sure, why not? Do it.
They'll have Kamala Harris come to town. Woman and a Democrat. Washington Street is perfect.
Now. Okay, so we'll get, Linda and I will start working on that survey. Trying to figure out which houses, and maybe John might be able to help us with that too. We'll go through.
Well, the house we just sold up on School Street in the last few days, that my family, it was built in 1925. We only lived there since 1963, and so like 61 years. And
That was a quick sale.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Incredible.
we had lived to, we had a one day, ours was up for sale for a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
it's incredible.
She does a good job. There's nothing,
She does.
she's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Groveland's such a good location, like 2 hours from any state capital in New England almost, pretty much, except for maybe Montpelier in Vermont. But you get to Augusta, you get
Well,
to Providence, you can get to Hartford.
Yeah.
Con-
I used
New
to get
Hampshire,
to
Boston.
Boston, my driving, in an hour.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, it could take 2 hours and 20 minutes and it could take
depends.
55 minutes. That happened to me one time, going in 2 hours, 20 minutes, coming home 55.
Depends on what's going on. All right, so number 2, the CPA application for the National Register for Washington Hall. Okay, I presented it to the committee in January, and they accepted it. Fortunately, I went back for another meeting just to answer any questions, but they didn't have any because it's pretty cut and dry.
There really weren't any.
No,
No one had a question on it, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I included everything that I thought was necessary in the application, you know, any questions.
It was
that
pretty
might-
straightforward.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a historic building, period.
That's about it.
And it's, you know, meticulously restored.
That's a real plus.
We didn't change anything. And that's one of the big things, you know, when you wanna get something on the National Register, you know, is it original? Did things change, you know, like my house had that L added onto it, so that kinda negates it, you know?
And my old house was renovated around 1870 or 80
Yeah.
to make it
So they
fancier.
really want a house that hasn't been, you know,
Yeah,
torn apart and put that back together
yeah.
in a newer fashion of some kind.
I know the Kennedy House in Brookline on what's that street there? Anyways, it got put on the historic register back. I think Rose Kennedy did that back in the 1960s or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know if that was how old that house was, but it can be done.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, it doesn't
Beale
make
Street, I
any
think it was
difference.
83 Beale Street or something.
Doesn't make any difference how old the property
Yeah.
is. It's, you know, what has been done to it over the
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
You know, if they've modernized it, if they've put vinyl windows in, you know,
Yeah.
like Washington Hall doesn't have any vinyl windows. They're all
Wow.
most of the originals. There were a couple of, you know, of the frames that were rotted,
Hmm.
and we just had them replaced.
Yeah.
You know, replicated is the word.
Well, the town's done a nice job of using the white clay. That hall is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We worked hard on it, you
Yeah.
know, and we took our time. We
Yeah.
had to because of the way the CPA money
Yeah.
became allocated, because it had just started.
Hmm.
The CPA, you know, when
Yeah.
we waited until it got passed, and then we started,
Mhm.
you know, putting in applications. But we had to wait for some money to build up for the first time.
I think Boy Scout Troop 88 used to meet there, and I think
They
the
did.
American Legion used to meet there.
They-
I used to have a
they
big
both-
sign, American Legion, on the front of the building
They
at one
both
time.
did, yeah,
Now we meet in this from the American Legion.
just moving around.
Every
Yeah.
second Wednesday of every month, someone wants to come up. 7 o'clock, 7 to 8.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. So next, CPA committee is going to present it to the selectmen if they haven't already.
Yes.
Correct. That's coming up.
I think he was gonna, Mike Dempsey was gonna do it at the end of,
Oh, just
February,
Mike was going to
yeah.
do it. Okay.
but
All right.
we did vote to
Right.
approve it. At
Right.
that meeting, we came back, nobody had any questions.
Yeah. And as long as the selectmen approve it, then it will go before town meeting, and hopefully it'll get approved.
When is town meeting this year?
It's in April sometime. I don't know.
Last week in April?
Christina?
April 29th,
April 20th?
I was gonna say, it's way at the end of April, yeah.
Monday.
It's usually on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually the fourth Monday.
So that'll be good, and it's not a lot of money, so it should fly. I would
I would think so, I would
I
hope
would
so.
think, yeah. All right, and now we're gonna come back to the demolition delay law that we had brought up several meetings ago. In the last meeting, we discussed it, we tabled it just because we didn't have enough information. Now I think we've got some information that we can use to, you know, present to anyone that wants to know about it and what we can do to prevent, you know, historical homes from being destroyed. So, the other property that's really in tough shape is the Parker Estate. You know, Brian's old house is in tough shape, but I think it could be, repaired.
It's
I
money.
really do.
Yeah,
You know, it's gonna take some money, but it's gonna take some money to tear it down
yeah, I had no idea how much that
and
would cost.
rebuild it. You know, and so, I don't know. I'm gonna try to talk to the fellow that bought it.
Now you said the
It's
Parker
worth a
Estate,
shot.
Claire, real quick, the Parker Estate, the first item you mentioned, 247 Main Street. No, you call it a state. Did Ted Jr. pass away, the POW from World War II that was living up?
No. I mean, I've heard it referred to as the estate.
Yeah. And his sister
Years.
Betsy Parker Stearns used to teach at Feingold Stearns used to teach at the old Shannon School, third
Oh, is
grade.
that
Yeah,
right?
she was a very nice lady.
Wow. Tracy came into the Historical Society yesterday and had some pictures of the Shanahan School before it was torn down. It was a fantastic looking building.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
really was, and it was well built, wasn't that old.
I think it was built in the WPA in the 1930s, right?
Yeah, we have
The
a
Franklin
plaque.
Roosevelt.
49, we have the plaque,
Yeah,
we have 2 plaques
nice.
from the building,
Wow.
and it was built all with federal money, that whole building.
We used to have town meetings in that building.
I remember
Did
that.
you?
Yeah, we had elections in there. I know the 1978 election was in there when I ran for the legislature.
Mhm.
We used to go in that, I think in the basketball court or something. There.
I remember how
Voted
shocking
McCarthy.
it was to drive by and see it gone.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh.
1985, that wasn't, I don't know if that was a good year or a bad year when they
Probably a
tore
bad
the,
year.
tore the Shannon down.
It was shocking. I mean,
When I went to school, there was called the Main Street Elementary School. It wasn't called the Shannon until, I think Evelyn Shannon was
Principal.
principal. Yeah.
We have a book on her too that was done with some pictures at the Historical
She was
Society.
a very nice lady, Mrs. Shanahan.
Yeah, I heard good
Yeah,
things
I
about her.
never met her.
Yeah. Chief Shanahan's sister, Chief James J. Shanahan, my old boss, is a police officer.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
He
heard
was police
stories.
chief when I moved here in 1943.
I've heard stories.
His
about-
father was a police chief. His father was a police chief.
Oh, no kidding.
Before him, and then his son was a police officer, Jimmy Jr. And I worked with Jimmy a few times. Nice kid. Went to Pentucket, had some issues, but nice family.
I think if we can get somebody to start printing a newspaper, that John should be the editor.
Tracy
'Cause-
Guilford.
Well,
He was at
I
our church. He
mean,
was at church Sunday. We had a coffee hour afterwards. And I was talking to him. Bruce Ty helped him out with some new ALS medication.
He told me.
So he was all excited. So I said, Tracy, you could be the surfer riding the wave, getting a cure for this thing.
That would be great.
So,
Well, anyway, we can talk about that.
in fact, Luke Gehrig and Paul Sallucci, a former governor, somebody I served with in the legislature. Paul's a good guy, but he got affected by that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah. I go to Hudson every now and then. They have a little park by town hall, like Paul Sallucci, a couple of benches with his picture on it and a little write up, and it's kind of neat. He used to be a selectman in Hudson.
Interesting. Well, anyway, let's get back to this demolition delay thing. So, I really want to talk to this person that bought Brian's house and see, what I can ascertain that, see what his ideas are and, see if I can, I don't think I can talk him into anything else, but.
Should we invite him to one of our meetings to see if he could like to just chat with us informally?
Well, we could. I
Yeah.
mean, if he's willing.
Yeah, exactly. Then just we could get advice from town council or something if they think
Well,
or what Rebecca thinks how we should proceed with the selectmen.
Rebecca was involved in setting this up
All right.
in Methuen, so she said she'd be happy to help us any way she could.
She's very good, Rebecca. She's very knowledgeable and very involved with the town.
Yes,
In a nice way, not overly. She just
she's not overpowering.
no, she's just very very thoughtful and kind.
Exactly. So let me do a little more homework on this, and we can set up another meeting in maybe a month, okay, and see where we're at
All right.
with this.
For April?
Because I don't think we should, wait too long.
No.
We've already waited probably too long.
I don't know anything about that 102 Center Street house.
Well, I saw that on the market recently, and it's been added onto, and it's not very pretty looking. I want to take a ride by and see what it looks like.
That's Lily and Joe Rand's old house. My sister was best friends with Helen, and George Rand was an attorney and local good tennis player. But
So has that house been empty?
I'm not sure, but they used to have a horse years ago. We used to go to Cedardale on Center Street by Stickney's Boulder, and Helen, she always asked about the house, and she heard it was back in the market. So she's living in down the Cape now.
Uh-huh.
But her mother's living in Florida. Her mother's like 95 or something. And
Oh, wow,
God
wow.
bless her.
the father passed
So
away. He was
who
a
owns-
reverend.
Who owns the house?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's a nice location.
It is, I mean, it's not a big piece of land,
No,
you know, it's less than half an acre.
1850 though. That's the year the town became a town. 1850. So it's
Yep.
got something to do with the town. Maybe that was interesting history about that house.
Yeah, that was the year my old house was
I don't know.
1850.
It would be nice to talk to that lady though, that's living in the Cape.
Oh,
about the
Helen?
house. Yeah,
She was at the reunion up here at VZ Park last year. My sister went with her. They were
Oh,
best
is that
friends
right?
in Pentucket in high school. They had their 50th reunion. Because of COVID, they had it with the class of 73.
yeah. I wonder if, Lynn Pappas has this house.
I don't know.
I can call Lynn.
Lynn's a good realtor. A lot of good realtors around.
She's
Well,
excellent.
yeah, Lynn's very good. But we're also lucky there's a lot of good ones in this Essex County area. A lot of nice ones.
Yeah, we had one, and we were very happy
Yeah.
Mm.
with her.
Yeah.
She works fast, you know, I mean, she knows everything.
A lady from Wisconsin, so she came from Wisconsin.
Yeah, she goes back every once in a while to visit.
And she
Yeah.
spent time in college in Scotland, so she's sort of a world traveler. She's lived in a bunch of states around the U.S. She's very knowledgeable.
Exactly. So let's see what we can find out about that house. Maybe you could work with me
Sure.
with that, seeing as you know, that lady who's down the Cape.
Yeah, they sold it years ago. They used to be, the mother's name was Jackman. Jerry's Variety was Jackman's before it was Jerry's, or Whitey's. And it was, I think her family owned Jerry's Variety before.
Well, that's before I moved here, I think.
Yeah, it was before I remember it being Jackman's. I remember it being Whitey's and then Jerry's. Ben White was a state rep for years, a couple of years I think. He owned Jerry's,
So you grew up in Groveland right from the get-go, right?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, you never know when you're a little kid and all your relatives are lugging you around.
No,
What you're saying,
When you're a little kid, they say, here, come here, go stay with Aunt or Uncle so-and-so, and this is
Yeah.
fine, and they all
Either
talk
that-
alike and look alike. So.
Either that or go outside and play.
Yeah, exactly, in the sandbox, and, we used to have Noah's Ark Kindergarten over there by, bottom of 7th Star Road near Broad Street in the Little Red Schoolhouse. My
Mhm.
Aunt Maggie Visit had it, it was Shirley Calkin, it was called Noah's Ark.
Did you go to school at the North School?
No, it closed the year I was born, the Little Red Schoolhouse in '56. It opened the year in 1865, the year the Civil War began, or ended. So it was open for
Right.
quite a few years,
I owe them a sign.
you know.
They want a sign for the building.
Yeah, good.
So, that's about it. I mean, can you think of anything else that we need to discuss regarding this demolition delay?
There's another historical home for sale on the corner of Center and Bear Hill Road. I believe it's the one that says 1707. It looks like it's been pretty
Is it
much,
the one-
That's Pat Fay's house, the former state trooper. He came to our Legion meeting the other day. He was, Doreen, she used to teach at Bagnell School with my mom and stuff. And nice family. And his brother Larry, they're both in the state police together. Larry and Pat, they owned the Groveland hardware store for a while after the
I remember the
so,
Groveland Hardware store.
yeah.
So what's the number?
I don't know what the number, it's on the, I believe it's Bear Hill Road and Center Street.
Yeah, it's right in the corner. It's a big white, like salt box, right?
It's a
Big
brown salt box.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a salt box. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's low to the ground. There's a lot of work been done to it, I think.
Yeah, the Amaras lived there before.
In and out,
Candy
yeah.
Amaro, I went to school.
He invited me in one time he was mowing, but I had my dogs with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't go in.
He has
I
some
was
old-
dying
Is
to
it in
go
good
in.
shape?
It looks like it's a
I
nice
think
shape.
it's, I think
But it looks
it's-
like it's modernized.
He has some old cars too, Pat. I think he had some antique cars at one time. So
It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, I've never been in it, but
Well,
When did it
outside
go-
has been
When did it go
refinished.
on the market?
I wanna say about a month ago,
Can't remember
the
seeing it.
sign went out.
Well, he's a former state trooper, so I'm sure maybe he's got some state police buddies that want to buy it.
Groveland always had so many state troopers.
At one time, in the Kennedy Johnson administration, we had more state troopers living in Groveland than about any town in America lived
It
with
was
state police.
unbelievable.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's like
We
everyone.
still have quite a few living in
Why,
town.
why was that?
I don't know. I was a little kid. I don't remember those things. Although my father had blue lights in his front bumper, driving around looking like he was working for the Secret Service or something.
That was impressive when you were a kid, right?
Yeah,
Oh, nice, yeah, oh,
we had a convertible. My father used to put the roof down. We lived down on Main Street, and we were waving like we were little kids, like we were a little president family or something, running around. That was back when Jackie Kennedy and President Kennedy were, everybody was trying to copy them and everything, and like my mother had her hair done like Jackie Kennedy, and I think, but all the women were doing that. It wasn't just my mother.
and little pillboxes.
Yeah, exactly.
So you thought you were pretty cool, huh?
No,
Right,
a little
right,
kid
so
living.
waving.
To my grandfather, Bill Twombly, he used to march in the parades, the little Memorial Day parades. We used to.
It used to be right by my house. We didn't even have to leave our front porch.
My grandmother used to love Jackie Kennedy. Oh, she was enamored of her.
Someone wants to do a parade for, what is it, next year?
Memorial Day?
No, for
the
the,
300th anniversary for the
Yeah.
church or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
so,
that'd be good. Tied in with the 250th anniversary of the country.
Yeah.
Groveland got a 50-year head start in the country.
Our church just, I believe, was celebrated 100 years, like, within the last month or so.
that was.
Is that St. Patrick's or St.
18
James? St. James? Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
1873?
maybe it was 150 years.
Wow.
I think it was 1873, because I think it's the year before, Washington Hall, I think.
Oh,
They ordained the priest that's there on the same day of the anniversary,
wow.
pretty much, or
Nice.
real close to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I asked her the other day, Sunday was excited. She thinks there's more interest. She said she had a feeling that more people are interested in reconnecting with their, not just our church, but just houses of worship in general, whether you're Muslim or Jewish or Hindu or Buddhist. Or
Well, I think a
Christian
lot
or-
of people got away from going to church because of COVID.
Exactly, but that was an excuse, but you know, the government sort of went along with it.
It was a pretty good excuse.
Well,
Well, it always happens when it looks like the world's gonna end
Yeah.
any time now.
in California, the
Church
snow they're getting out there, that's pretty
Participation goes
wild.
right up.
Yeah,
Well, fires in the Panhandle in Texas, that's something too.
Yeah, the
That's
the
awful.
Catholic Church has mass televised,
Yeah,
you know, so a lot of people do that. Rather,
We
you
do
know,
that too. We
does the
put it
Episcopal
on the
too?
internet every Sunday.
I listen to satellite radio and I hear the different services, like from California, Los Angeles, or St. Patrick's in New York, or the Church of Latter-day Saints and out in Utah. They come there with their music and things. It's kind of neat.
It is neat,
Yeah.
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 yeah, definitely.
Not that I know the answers.
No,
do any of
I don't
us?
think any of us do at this point, so. Okay, can you think of anything else you want to add to any of this? I think if we concentrate on these things, then we might get something
Actually,
done
this
this
is a lot,
year.
this is a lot of work, so I.
It is a lot of work.
We don't need to put more things on the,
Well, more things onto, you know, these three things,
right,
you know, if you can
We don't
think of.
need
Is it too late to get a sense of the town at town meeting? Is it too late to put an article in town meeting warrant to some informational article, maybe a sense of the town, what they think about what we should be doing, like almost like a poll, like a question at town meeting? Or could we amend an article at town meeting and offer that as a,
I think it might be too late.
can offer
I
a
can
number from the
ask,
floor? Billy Doc still the moderator?
as far as I know.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Who's
No one else
the
wants
town
to do
council? Who's the town? Is it not Copeland and Page anymore? Who's the?
No,
I don't know who it is
I don't
now.
know their name,
Yeah.
but it's new.
Yeah, make it an opinion or something, just, well, Rebecca knows everything, Rebecca's, the selectmen are sort of running the show, so they know what's going on,
Hmm.
so,
So we can talk to Rebecca,
alright.
you know. Why don't we do that? We'll make an appointment.
Well, Beth Cuniff in the town clerk's office, she's pretty knowledgeable.
She
Met
is.
Alyssa, I met that Alyssa in the Council on Aging in the last couple of days, she's from Oregon, she's really nice, and we're working with Nisha Burke in the Council on Aging office,
She's very nice.
and Laurie Benson in the Board of Health, she's pretty good too, she's one of the longest serving town employees, also from Rhode Island, Claire.
You know what?
see, all these people come from us.
And Lynn Stanton was from Rhode Island.
Yeah, Jeff Sir and Irene Sir from Rhode Island.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Maybe I knew that.
The little
I haven't
ocean
seen her in a
state.
long time. It's a pretty cool state,
Yeah, it's a very nice state.
but.
I like Newport. I get lost every time I go there.
I don't know, the last time I went to Newport, I kind of got a little mixed up myself. You know, when you don't go somewhere, too often.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh.
I was in there for the Tennis Hall of Fame on
Direction.
Bellevue Avenue down there, with the Tennis Hall of Fame. That's really beautiful there.
It's beautiful in
Yeah.
Newport, just beautiful, especially on a really nice day.
Mm.
You don't wanna go down there on a foggy day.
I like that Fort Adams over there, by the, what was that farm, the Hammersmith Farm? With the,
Hammersmith.
Yeah.
that was pretty, I've been in that years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's sold into private hands now or something. Or,
It has,
I've been down to the Ford,
heavy.
yeah, a couple of years, 4 or 5
All
years ago.
right, so we've got some homework to do, and so could we have a motion to close the meeting?
I move we close the meeting at 11:33.
Give me a second.
Second.
Any second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.